Hello YouTube, this is Mike here with Fanatix Enterprise, bringing you our first 40K Army profile. Today I have friend and fellow TO Robert Chandler.
Hey everyone.
He will be presenting us his Blood Angels Army. Now me and Chandler have worked together on multiple tournaments, and we also have a GT coming up, if you want to tell them about that.
Yes, in September 16th and 17th, we're actually going to be hosting a grand tournament here at Fanatix Enterprise.
That's right.
Saturday, Sunday event. It's called Come the Apocalypse. You can find us on the web. Just go to cometheapocalypsegt.blogspot.com or on Facebook, Come the APOC GT. You'll find our page with our event information. Also, we're on Best Coast Pairings. So if you want to register, go to bestcoastpairings.com and just look for events and find us.
It is an ITC event.
It will be an ITC event, yes.
Earn them points for the LVO. LVO's coming up, isn't it?
It is, yes, in January. Registration actually opened for the LVO yesterday, in fact.
I thought I saw some uproar on the Facebook feeds.
Yep.
You can also find the event in our local Fanatix Enterprise page. It should be under the event tab. We're one of the co-hosts. But how long have you been playing Blood Angels?
I started playing...
I know you've been playing them since I've known you.
Yeah, I've actually started playing Blood Angels back in the 90s.
Yeah.
During 2nd edition when they just had come out, and they were with the Dark Angels in the Angels of Death Codex.
Yeah.
And that's when I started playing...
For those that don't know, the Angels were all together.
Right, at one time, yes. And of course I played for quite a while then, but then life happened and got in the way, and I kind of stepped aside from the game for a little while, and then when I returned back to the game several years ago, I picked back up right where I left off with Blood Angels. So I have several different armies now, of course, but Blood Angels has always been my first love. I've always loved the army.
Nice.
I love the lore, the background, and they're a fun army to play, and especially with 8th edition now having come out, they are very, very fun to play. So
have you been liking the new edition?
I have. I've been very enjoying it very much. We've played several games up here over the past couple of months since the rules hit, and we've been having a blast with it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think the new edition is great. Yeah,
put a lot of work into your Blood Angels. They look pretty awesome.
I appreciate it. You know, I've come a long way, I think, in my painting since I first started with that army many years back. But I appreciate it. So. Yeah, I've been enjoying 8th edition. I've been enjoying playing Blood Angels again. You know, they're a faction that has, over the past several years, not been the strongest on the table. So they've now, though, with 8th edition coming out, and with the way the game mechanics work now, every army really is fun to play in its own right, and Blood Angels is no exception. I've been having a blast playing them since the new edition launched. Very much.
Awesome. Well, we will give you an army profile when we're right back. And go. And here we have some of Robert Chandler's Blood Angels.
Yes, some of my many Blood Angels. So I actually play a successor chapter of Blood Angels called Flesh Tears, but I have quite an extensive collection of Blood Angels. But what I'm featuring today in this video is some of the more Blood Angels unique units that you will find that are either not in the Marines Adeptus Astartes Codex or just unique to the army itself.
Now that's an original. Was it Seth?
Yes, that is.
With his goblet of fine wine.
Oh, that guy there, that's Corbulo.
Oh, Corbulo.
Shows
what I know about Blood Angels.
He is. That's an old model there, and I didn't field him that much, so I haven't finished basing him and things of that nature. But now he's pretty good. So, but yeah, I've got
very well painted.
Thank you. I can't take the full credit. I painted some of these models, most of them, but some of them I did not. Friends painted them and things of that nature. But
now the one thing that I've always loved about Blood Angels that drew me to Blood Angels, and I actually considered them at one point, is you guys have a Psyker Dreadnought.
Yes, the Librarian Dread, the only Dreadnought Librarian in Space Marines, and he is very fun to play with. In 8th edition, he's pretty much the same as a normal dreadnought, but he has access to the sanguinary psychic powers, so he can give himself or another unit a +1 attack. In combat, he can give himself or another unit 4-up invulnerable save. He's very, very neat. So has the same stats as you'd find for a normal dread, only he has the ability to cast psychic powers as well. So he's pretty cool. And he's an HQ choice now. So
oh, is he?
he is.
I did not know that.
He used to be an Elite's choice, I believe, years ago, but now he is HQ. So you can take him as a Warlord, in fact.
Now we got what, Furioso?
That is,
No,
yeah,
Death Company Dread.
Yeah. These guys are actually one of the better dreadnoughts in the game because they move 8 inches for their movement, whereas normal dreadnoughts move like 6 inches.
Yeah.
They move 8. They can re-roll to hit rolls with their Furioso fists, and they also gain the Black Rage ability, which lets them get an extra attack when they charge, and also they can ignore wounds on a 6+. So they're pretty beastly. Also, when they get done in a combat, they can actually consolidate 6 inches instead of the normal 3 for piling in, which gives you a lot more flexibility in how they can engage units. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we got the tried and true flyer of the skies for the Space Marines.
Yes, the Storm Raven gunship. Now, what's interesting about this unit is that when it first released several years ago, Blood Angels and Grey Knights were the only armies that actually had access to it. And it wasn't for several years after that they opened it up and allowed all the other Codex Marines to take it. But this was a Blood Angels exclusive unit, really, for several years. And of course, in 8th edition, if you follow Warhammer 40K, you know that Storm Ravens are very powerful right now.
Oh yeah.
With the index drops, so they're a very strong unit. They tons and tons of shots.
How are we kidding? We got multi-meltas.
Yep, this one's got a multi-melta las cannon.
Got our tried and true
Hurricane bolters. Yeah, and I have a couple more that are outfitted with like assault cannons and Typhoon missile launchers. But
I recently acquired a Storm Raven for my salamanders that has yet to shoot anything because it dies on first turn now.
Well, they are bullet magnets, yes. Yeah. They definitely are. People know how powerful they are. They go after them. They're scary.
It doesn't make it very long.
Yeah, and the game is different now because in previous editions you could hold this thing, well, you had to hold it in reserve and it would come on later. So you would be able to do something with it before it got shot. Now you can't do that.
They currently start on the table flying.
They do. They have to start on the table flying.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
We got some TAC Marines with Flesh Terror symbols.
These TAC Marines here, what's cool about Tactical Marines and Blood Angels is that unlike their normal Marine counterparts, they can take a heavy flamer for their heavy weapon selection.
Nice.
Which is really cool. So, you load these guys up in a Rhino or a Razorback or even in a Storm Raven, when they disembark, they can toast some things. So, it's pretty cool to be able to have access to a unique weapon like that.
That's very awesome. Got some Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators.
Yes, Terminators are back in 8th edition. They were hardly ever seen on the tabletop in the past several editions, past 2 editions for sure, because they just didn't have the durability and survivability. Now they have 2 wounds. They have a 2-up armor save, of course, and a 3-up invulnerable, which makes them, what that unit does with the Storm Shields, makes them much more durable, and
Thunderhammers can swing first on the charge?
So yes, they can. And that's another reason why they're so great, because you no longer have to wait till everybody swung at you. When you charge with them, they can hammer away, and they are pretty devastating, especially if they have a buff character beside them, like the Sanguinor to give them +1 attack, or a Priest to even increase their strength, or some character that will let them reroll to hits. So they're expensive. They're about 280 points to fit them out that way, but they can wreak havoc, and they can charge when they come in, which is cool. Now they have to be set up 9 inches away from any enemy units, but if you can roll that charge, they can get in, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and also they have a teleport homer now, which you can set up kind of in your backfield or in your deployment zone, and they can teleport back there. So you can afford to throw them out, and then they can kind of come back, and if you have a threat suddenly appear in your backfield that
back
they
into
need to
safety.
deal with. Yeah. So they're pretty cool unit. One of the better units, I think, for Space Marines right now.
One of my other favorite units of Blood Angels, Death Company.
Yes, actually, this is what that unit there is what actually drew me to play this army, was Death Company. I really love them. They're really good now. They have a special ability similar to the Dreadnought, well, the same thing really, called Black Rage, which lets them increase their attacks when they charge. They get extra attacks for swinging chainswords, and you know, you stick them with a buff character like a chaplain where they can reroll to hits, and they're pretty beastly. They can stack up a lot of attacks. They have a good strength if you have a priest with them, and they're pretty durable as well. They're pretty good. Kind of one of the standard Blood Angels units is Death Company, I think.
Yeah.
And they're affordable. They're not dirt cheap or anything, but
now that they get the swing first again.
right, yeah. You throw in a Thunderhammer or something like that, and they can really
put some hurt on them.
Yeah. Now a lot of people like to run them with just straight power swords, which is because power swords are so cheap, and they have a -3 AP on them, which makes them very hard to save against. And when you stack a lot of attacks up with them through either psychic powers or a buff character like the Sanguinoir, they can chop through just about anything they touch when they charge. So they're one of the kind of the core units of Blood Angels. They kind of set them apart from the rest of the army, really.
Absolutely. One thing I do like about the addition too is the addition of command points.
Oh yes.
You really want those Thunderhammers, or you really want that charge distance, you're going to get that charge
Absolutely.
distance.
Command points are so important, and they're so beneficial in helping you reroll charge ranges or what have you.
Now we got some Sanguinary Guard, correct?
Yes, Sanguinary Guard. Those guys are pretty good. In previous editions, they had struggled a little bit because for their points they just weren't that durable. But they have 2 wounds now, like Terminators. They have jump packs, so they move like 12 inches a turn. They are expensive again still, but you can kit them out. If they're within 6 inches of the Army's Warlord, they get to reroll to hit rolls. They can hit pretty hard too, and they all have power weapons. And this is pretty much the standard loadout I like to use. It's 2 swords, an axe, and a fist. It's kind of versatile setup to let you handle just about anything they might charge into.
Any big bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Dante.
Dante, yes, he is a beast now for Blood Angels.
Show a little closer image of you.
Yeah, a friend of mine painted that for me several years ago, along with the Sanguinary. He painted both of those for me, and Dante is a really amazing HQ choice for Blood Angels because he lets any units within 6 inches reroll to hit, and he's also quite good in combat. And he gets to reroll wounds against characters, which makes him very good to going and hunting down.
And in addition, where your characters have bubbles or
right.
auras, you want to.
Yep, he's a character assassin.
Astaroth,
who's like the High Chaplain of the Death Company.
I've always liked his fluff. You get out of line, I kill you.
Yeah, he is. that's what he does.
That's pretty much it.
When they get out of line, he has to go in there and take care of them. He's a really good buff character. He allows them to, same thing as a normal chaplain, reroll to hit rolls, but he also has this ability called Massive Doom, which once per game you can roll on a 2 or better. They get a benefit for the turn, and it's pretty beastly. So you can kind of prepare yourself for a big assault, and then have him do that Massive Doom for all the units and give them a pretty nice buff when they make their charge and their attacks. He's a very good character.
And last we have the Flesh Terror himself.
Yes, Gabriel Seth. Now again, I play Flesh Terrors, so I use him more than probably the other characters, more than named characters, because of him being Flesh Terrors. But he's very good. He's very cheap for what he does. He allows units to reroll to hit. And he's pretty beastly in combat himself. I like to set him up kind of in the back line with Devastators or other shooty units like Foul Predators and things of that nature, so they can reroll to hit rolls within 6 inches of him. It makes their shooting very effective. And because of his points, he's only 135 points. He gives off one of the better aura reroll buffs for your points that you can find. So a lot of the characters that do that are very expensive, and he's pretty affordable.
Nice. Now, we do locally have a tournament on the 29th. You plan on running Blood Angels, or are you going to run... He does have Chaos, and I believe he used to have Eldar.
I do still have Eldar.
Yeah.
I have Chaos. I haven't made my mind up.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. I want to run Blood Angels, but I also want to run my Chaos army. I have a Chaos Daemons army with, Magnus and horrors and all that sort of thing. So haven't made my mind up yet.
Yeah.
Still on the fence, but
He's got Blood Angel options. He has more.
I do. Yes.
He has more. We just brought a few to display today.
Yep. Very, very happy again with how they've been playing in the new edition. They're fun to play. I think in prior years where shooting was more king, and shooting still is king in 8th edition, but with the way the game is set up now, you can make use of some of the more fun things about this army, like Death Company and Sanguinary Guard and things of that nature. And they're very fun to play.
Nice. Well, we appreciate it. This is Robert Chandler's Blood Angels. Like I said in the beginning, we want to give you a little glimpse of some of the stuff that goes on here in southeastern Alabama. You can check us out on Facebook. The link should be in the description below. I will also put the link to the GT in the description below. So if you guys are interested, on September 16th and 17th, we will be here hosting. You're more welcome to join us.
Oh, also, if you're bored and while you're sitting and painting, we also produce a podcast.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Come the Apocalypse Podcast. You can find us on iTunes and Google Play Music. There's also links to it on the Come the Apocalypse website.
I'll throw that link in the description of this video as well.
Yeah, we do that. I think we got 7 episodes done now, so we try to do them every month.
Nice.
But yeah, tune in, check out our GT, and come join us here at Fanatix and Enterprise. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be 2 great days of 40K. So
absolutely. I want to thank you, and as always, happy gaming.